Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at the newly rebalanced Ultimate Bunny, specifically for Onslaught. The transcendent mod that I found to be my favorite so far is Electric Link. I'm averaging anywhere between 20 and 30 billion damage runs, doing a lot of ad clear, even helping out with the bosses. I do think the build that I use is a little different than what is probably common. So I am going to throw out like two builds. I'm going to showcase what I use and then just have the other build as an extra in case you guys want to try that. It works the same for the most part, it's just a little different. But if you learn anything, find anything interesting, or have any questions, comment down below, like the video, and consider subscribing to the channel to help support channel growth. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get super deep in the build, I want to explain how Electric Link works, but before we do that, I want to go over Electric Display. This is the new trigger mod for Ultimate Bunny. How this works is while you're using acceleration, which is going to be 2, you're going to be getting this volt stack. It goes up to 3 stacks. You get MP and round recovery per stack. It does go up to 3. And then when you hit something with an AoE, which is going to be your 3, which is what we're going to primarily be using, it gives you ammo and MP recovery back. Making this build work without this is damn near impossible, so I highly suggest that you get a decent roll on this mod. Alright, back to Electric Link and what this does. This is going to make Bunny a firearm based descendant that deals skill damage as your primary source. It does make a little adjustments to all your abilities. The highlights is your Thrill Bomb now will give you a fire rate buff, which is very important. Your 3 will do the electric ring on every 10th shot from your firearm. So instead of the ring pulsing around Bunny, it will now pulse around the enemies that you're shooting. And then her 2 will automatically reload your weapon from reserves as long as you are maintaining movement. It doesn't explain this very well in the description, but that is how it works. Quick demonstration of this: you want to have your 2 activated and then use your 1 and your 3 for both of your buffs, and then you just keep shooting. As long as you maintain movement, you'll keep reloading, and you can see that big AoE ring constantly spawning around the enemy. And that's going to be the primary source of damage in this build. And for funsies, you can throw in your 4 for a big burst of damage. For the Ancestor mod, what you want to look for above all else is a critical hit rate of at least 300% increase. Without that, it's going to be really hard to reach 100% critical hit rate. After that, you want crit hit damage. And then if you do get a third option, look for something that's like skill power ratio, skill cost isn't horrible, or HP, something more like for utility. Hopefully you get a better negative effect. If you do get a negative effect, but you don't want negative skill cooldown. That actually hurts my build, but if this works for me, a better roll will work for you. Looking at the mods themselves, before we get into the details, I want to clarify on our third ability. You want your cooldown, which mine's 18.9 seconds, to be lower than your duration, which it says time to trigger, and that's, for me, it's 21.4 seconds. You want your cooldown lower than your time to trigger. This way you always have this buff active. Now, this is a crit-based build based off the Ancestor mod. I'm running Frontlines and Emergency Measures. I still am short 100% crit rate with this. If I had a strong enough Ancestor mod, I would drop Frontlines or Emergency Measures depending on which one still allows me to achieve the 100% crit rate. If I were to drop either or both, the things I would slot in is something like more HP, maximize range, or maximize conversion for skill cost down. Any one of those 3 things would be super nice here. It has a 4th bonus if you want a little bit more damage. If you're able to drop Emergency Measures, put Dangerous Ambush on. That is a flat skill power boost ratio that in Onslaught, as long as there's defenses and teammates, you're going to be getting free damage. It's pretty nice to have, and I don't see a lot of people using it. And for my final 2 mods I settled with was increased HP for survivability and skill expansion. I would love to drop one of these for maximize range because your 3 can benefit from it, but I found this to be the most effective in Onslaught 3 while staying alive. Running the build the way that I run it, this would be my ideal situation if I had a better crit rate on my Ancestor mod, Dangerous Ambush for the bonus damage, and then maximize range to get the most out of my 3. I just wanted to show you guys an overall of what the dream is when I eventually do get that juicy critical hit rate mod. This is going to be the alternate build that I talked about in the beginning, and going forward, I'm going to show you alternate build options for some of the things that we're going to go over. So if you want to have a more focus on your 4 ability, this is what you're going to want to run. And then you still want to make sure you get 100% crit rate, because if your 4 doesn't crit, that's going to feel really bad. Now for the reactors, this is a singular focused module for Bunny, so everything changes to singular except for her 2, which remains fusion, but her 2 doesn't do any damage, so it doesn't matter. So for that reason, we have a singular electric reactor with critical hit damage and critical hit rate. If you are going to run the alternate version, where you want to focus more on Bunny's 4 ability, you're going to want skill cooldown and skill critical hit damage, dropping the damage for critical hit rate if you just need that extra bump to get to that 100% threshold on her critical hit. For the components, I'm running a 2-piece firebrand and a 2-piece ascending. You are going to want as much HP and defense on these as possible, as well as anything MP focused. So MP recovery in combat, max MP is really good, MP recovery modifier is really good, and then obviously defense buffs across the board. Using this setup gives you the most HP possible. If you're going to use the alternate version of the build, I would drop the 2-piece ascending, which is going to give you skill cost down, for a 2-piece hunter set. This gives you a little bit more skill cooldown to help pump out that 4 a little faster. Now for the weapons, there's a lot of weapon options here. You want a fire rate of 2000, which is the max. I went with the newly rebalanced Albion Calavary. I did try a lot of other weapons such as Thunder Cage. I even tried Frenzied Locomotion, Last Dagger, Excava. I tried all these weapons and I was not having the results that Albion Cavalry gun was giving me. The Eraser was an honorable mention, minus the fact that it kept running out of ammo and there was like almost nothing I could do about it. I settled with the Albion Cavalry. It felt good. It feels good to shoot. You're doing big damage, big ammo capacity. It ricochets. It does big damage. It's a great gun for the build. I wish it was electric attack to make everything nice and neat, but you're going to be stunning enemies. You're going to be doing a lot of damage. It's a great gun for this build. The setup of the weapon on cores, I have sprint speed in the first spot. You do not need fire rate there. We will still hit the 2000 fire rate. The fire rate mod in the second spot, chill attack, firearm critical hit rate, not damage, in the red spot, and then another fire rate. On the additional options, I need to roll this, but I do want the recoil and the chill attack down. That blue one, I would love to change to critical hit damage, but I just haven't gotten to do that yet. For the mods, I am using some weird stuff. I'm using Expand General Magazine to boost our natural reserves of general ammo, normal impact round refilling. You don't have to use the impact round version of this, but if you don't know how this works, picking up impact rounds will give you general rounds at a lesser rate, but it's good for the ammo economy because you're going to be blowing through ammo like crazy. With this setup, I almost never run out of ammo. I am running Brisk Walk. This isn't up 100% of the time, but it is a movement speed increase. I do have critical hit mods attached, and I'll go over that in a second as to why. This fire rate up is extremely important. It's a must, and then rifling reinforcement for firearm attack. And then because it's Onslaught, I have Veil Analyzer. This helps pop all the bubbles that slow down killing things. Having this on makes things so much easier than not having it. It's one of the biggest mistakes I see people not familiar with Onslaught make, is not having some way to pop bubbles. So I've been slapping this on everything, and I've been very happy with the results. To go over Albion Cavalry, if you're not entirely sure how it works, but basically as long as you're shooting, you're going to be getting a movement speed buff, which feels really nice on Bunny. But secondly, when you shoot an enemy, they become marked, and if you shoot them again, one, you get a fire rate, a critical hit rate increase, so your critical hit goes to 40% on the gun. Using the previous setup that I just showed you, we will be hitting 100% crit rate on Albion Cavalry gun. Next, you will be doing additional damage to those targets based off your firearm attack times 200%. This isn't a huge part of the build, but it does add up to about 2 billion extra damage by the end of our runs. It also will, the bullets that ricochet will stun enemies, so this will help with survivability, and it also makes enemies not be targeting you. So if you have dangerous ambush on, you're going to be doing more damage to them, which is a big reason why that mod feels so good with this build. All right, the arche board. First, I grab these HPs just to have a little bit of survivability. We follow the tree up, we get the critical hit damage, the critical hit rate. We come up and over, grab some more skill power. I'm running electric chain catalyst as my immune cell, and then we come down here, we grab the enhanced skill power, and then I opted to grab the Colossus damage and the skill power here as well, and a little bit of extra range because it doesn't hurt. Now, if you can afford to eat it, feel free to put a slot here, free up your critical hit rate section, and then set your board up like this. This MP recovery modifier is always nice. That is the change that I would make if you had too much critical hit rate. Now, if you want to use the version that focuses more on her 4, you're going to drop the skill power and grab the skill cooldown instead. Now, for our fellows, I was torn between our snow sled dog and our Vespers hunting dog. This one gives you ammo. I felt like this was helping me more often than the MP one. If you're running around picking up orbs, you never have to worry about MP. You're going to be running around the entire time anyway. That is why I settled on this one. I was having far more ammo problems not having this than MP problems by having this, if that makes sense. So I do feel like the Vespers hunting dog is a crucial part of the build. For the inversion reinforcement, I went with the Spattle Dominance for skill effect range up to 5 stacks. It doesn't have a cooldown, so this is an easy pick for me. Arche Synergy, this is really nice on Bunny, especially if you're using the alternate build that I've shown. This allows you to pick up MP orbs and get MP and custom resource back, as well as picking up HP, recover some of your max shield back. Both things very nice to have. The pain suppression, also when your HP goes below a certain threshold, you get like a burst of HP based off of your total to help get you through that. This actually saves you from some big one-hit attacks as long as this isn't on cooldown. Some Onslaught cards, there are some new ones that are really good, but what you want to shoot for is anything that gives you skill power, anything that gives you outgoing damage modifier, even the ones that are like kill 15 enemies, get 200% modifier, whatever it is. Those are all really good. A personal favorite for me is balanced growth, because you're going to be shooting firearm damage the entire time, so it's basically a free 250% for free. If you're not having any luck with any of those, go for something with survivability, HP recovery on certain kits, or even MP recovery. All those cards will help you out here. For the most damage possible, though, you do want to shoot for the skill power and the outgoing damage modifier. I find my damage numbers look the best when I have at least one of each. At least one outgoing modifier and at least one skill power buff. Both make big differences for my damage at the end. So if you're struggling to reach some high billions of damage, those could be the reason why. Some thoughts about the build to be aware of, some like situations you might run into. Don't be tempted to hold still, because if you hold still, you're going to start manually reloading. If that happens, if your 1's ready, press your 1 to instantly reload. You're not going to use that to reload normally, you're just going to use it for the buff, but that is a gimmick you can do should you mess up the movement. Your 4 can also give you overshield based off your max HP. I never found this to be useful. You can use that to save yourself in a clutch moment with your 4 if you want to use it that way. I didn't use it efficiently that way, so I kind of gave up on that dream. That is more of a you kick the enemy and you get away kind of gimmick. But that is an option there too if you ever want to pull a res and you want that little extra protection before doing so. Using this in public queue, I found myself scoring anywhere between 20 billion to 30 billion. I think in the gameplay footage, I actually hit a high at like 41 billion maybe. I don't really remember. It's fun. It's good. It's nice using Bunny. I haven't been playing with her in a long time. I hope you guys get to use this and enjoy it. There are some other mods with Bunny that are really good in Onslaught. This is the one that I had the most fun with at first glance. I might explore some of the other ones. If you guys learned anything, found anything useful, consider liking the video. If you have any questions, drop a comment. And if you use the build and enjoy it, consider subscribing to the channel for more content in the future. But I think that is it. So I hope to see you guys next time, and I hope you have fun with Ultimate Bunny in Season 3, Episode 4 of The First Descendant.